Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. I finished my workout and I'm heading to a facial appointment this morning. I haven't yet told the person that I see for skincare about my surgery, so I will be telling her about that today. And I actually have a couple of questions for her because one of the things that is included with all of my procedures is laser treatment for my skin. It's not something that I know that much about, but I wanted to get her thoughts on it, kind of her opinion, and just curious to get a little more information. I really trust her and her knowledge on all of this, so I do want to hear what she has to say about it. And I did also receive the other day a package from the clinic where I'm having my surgery. They recommend a few supplements for pre and post-op to help with the healing, to help with your skin. So when I get back, I'm going to go through all of those. I'll show you what they sent me, what they're all for. Gotta look through all of the instructions, make sure that I'm starting them at the right times. First, going to get my skincare appointment done, and then we'll come back and go through these new supplements. Okay, I'm back from my facial appointment. My skin feels amazing, as always does afterwards. So now I want to go through some of the supplements that I was sent by the clinic where I'll be having my cosmetic surgery. Part of the whole process, or the whole plan basically, that you sign up for includes some supplements that they send you that you start taking before and then you continue taking them after the surgery. Things that will kind of help prepare you for surgery and then also help with healing afterwards and just make sure that you get a really good outcome. So some of the supplements that they sent are things that I'm sort of familiar with or even already take. And some of them are things that I'm really not familiar with and will be learning more about right now. So the first thing that they sent is an amino acid supplement. So these are just a powder form that you mix with water and drink. And this is something that I actually already take on a daily basis. So I take a different brand, but a very similar version of an amino acid supplement. It's what I put into my morning hydration drink every day. So I have amino acids in there, and then I also add in collagen, creatine, and electrolytes. I've not tried this particular brand before, but I have heard of it and I've been actually curious to try it, so this seemed like a really good opportunity to give it a shot. I'll just swap out this one for the one that I'm currently using, at least for pre and post-op, and then depending on how I like it, either I'll just go back to the ones that I have because it's also another really good brand that's really good quality, and I think basically a very similar formula to this one, but who knows, maybe I'll like this one better and switch. The next one that they sent is this enzyme formula. And I have a little sheet here that like explains the different supplements and like how I'm supposed to use them or what they're for. Enzymes are also something that I already take. Like I take a digestive enzyme with most of my meals just to support overall digestion, make sure I'm actually breaking down and absorbing food well. But enzymes can also help with inflammation. This one, it says specifically supports the body's ability to maintain tissue integrity, affects cytokine balance, aid nutrient and oxygen delivery, helps speed the body's ability to recover and heal. This one again, it's pretty similar to the enzymes that I currently take. It does have a little bit of a different formulation. So I'll just again swap out this one, use this one for pre and post-op, and then probably just go back to the ones that I usually take afterwards. And most of these supplements that they've sent me, I'm supposed to start like 2 weeks, maybe 1 to 2 weeks before surgery, and then continue with it for up to 3 months afterwards. So this is also something that I will be going over with my naturopath. I meet with her next week to talk about all of the pre-op stuff and just make sure that I have any additional support on hand that she thinks would be helpful. Show her all the supplements, like all these supplements that I've been sent that I'm gonna start taking, and we can kind of decide like how that will fit in afterwards, how long I might want to continue taking them, or what other things I might want to add in to also help with their recovery process. Okay, next we have Stem Regen, and this says it's a proprietary blend of natural ingredients to support stem cell release and migration, assist the body's natural repair and renewal system, stimulate stem cell release from the bone marrow. Stem cells contribute to tissue repair, recovery, and anti-aging effects. So again, I think it's just kind of like helping overall healing, but specifically like skin and tissue healing. This is definitely not something that I have ever taken before. Sounds like it will be specifically good for recovering from these procedures. Next one is a peptide, systematically active thymosin beta-4 fragment with natural thymus lysate. I have no idea what that means. This one is also along with another peptide, BPC 157. And these two peptides help with wound healing, tissue repair, support the health of the nervous system and immune system, reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. The BPC 157 is actually another one that I have already been taking for quite a long time. It's also used for like gut health or gut healing. So I've been taking that one. I'm not sure how long I've been taking it now, but it's been a pretty consistent one for me for a while. So again, I'll use the ones that they sent me until I run out, and then I can just go back to the ones that I already have. This TB4 Frag Max is not something I'm familiar with. It's another peptide though, and another one that I will be adding in for pre and post-op. And then lastly, we have this GHK Copper. This is actually another peptide. This is one that you add in just post-op. It says that GHK Copper is a small, naturally occurring peptide with the ability to reduce inflammation, improve antioxidant responses, and supports wound healing. Some of these I'm sort of familiar with. Some of them will be more specific for these particular procedures or specifically for like repair and recovery following something like a surgery. Obviously, they've taken some time to sort of curate the ones that they think are going to be most helpful for their patients, and they feel it's important enough that they send you a bunch of these to take before and after. I will have to pretty much stop taking all of the supplements that I currently take starting 2 weeks pre-op, just because they want to reduce any risk of blood thinning and also just like anything that could even potentially interact with the anesthesia that they use. Obviously, I will be sedated during the procedure. It's not general anesthesia, but there is some sedation used, so they have to make sure that you're not taking anything that could have some kind of effect on that. So a lot of the supplements that I'm currently taking, like fish oil, even vitamin D, vitamin C, those things could potentially cause blood thinning, which could mean more bleeding, and you don't want to have that during surgery, obviously. So I will be discontinuing most of my supplements, actually starting in just a couple of days. So I'm almost 2 weeks out from my procedure, and then I'll be starting some of these new ones that they sent me, and then we'll add in the others after the surgery. That is everything they sent me, and like I said, I have an appointment with my naturopath next week to go over everything, make sure she knows what's going on, if she wants me to add in any additional support post-op. Like, one of the things, I will have to take an antibiotic as well for like 7 days after the surgery, so I'm sure we'll be adding in some kind of probiotic to rebuild or support gut health after I'm done with the antibiotic. We'll just kind of come up with a plan for, okay, I have to stop taking most of these supplements before my surgery. Do I introduce them back in immediately afterwards, or how do we want to do that? Is there anything additional we want to add in after surgery to make sure that I can heal well? So we'll just have a really solid plan, make sure that I'm really well prepared going into this. Good morning. It's early on Friday morning. It's a little before 7 o'clock, but I've been trying to get up a little bit earlier, like basically yesterday and today so far, because we are moving the clocks forward this weekend, and I wanted to get a little bit of a head start on adjusting to the time change. I really don't like moving the clocks forward and like losing an hour of sleep, so I figured I would try to just like get up a little bit earlier for a couple of days beforehand and make that adjustment a little bit easier. So I woke up a little bit earlier than normal this morning. I just got up and got going, and I'm hoping that will mean that I'll be able to get in bed a little bit earlier and just, like I said, kind of start to adjust my circadian rhythm and my body clock a little bit earlier now, so that it's easier to go to bed a little bit earlier this weekend when we have to flip the clocks forward. But also, today is the first day where I have to stop taking most of my supplements because I'm 2 weeks out from my surgery. So most of the supplements that I'm taking, I will be just pausing for the next couple of weeks. And the other one that I have to stop taking is one of the prescriptions that I take is low-dose naltrexone. I believe I have talked about this a little bit before, but low-dose naltrexone has been shown to be very effective for certain chronic conditions. It can really help with sleep and pain, with chronic fatigue, and just kind of moderating overall symptoms of a lot of different chronic illnesses. So I started taking it quite a few years ago, actually. I'm not really sure how long it's been at this point, but I found it really helpful for a lot of those things. Like, I definitely feel like it helps my sleep. It helps me just feel like I have less pain, less brain fog, less fatigue feeling overall. But because of the way that it acts on opioid receptors in your brain, they don't want me taking it for a bit before the surgery because they will be using some pain medications during the surgery. Obviously, afterwards, that it could potentially interact with. Okay, a battery died in the middle of that comment. I am a little worried about not taking it just because, like I said, I feel like it really does help with my sleep. It helps me with pain, brain fog. I just feel like overall, like all my symptoms are less when I'm taking the naltrexone. At the same time, it's been a very long time since I haven't taken it. So in a way, this could actually be a pretty interesting experiment to see like what happens when I don't take it for a couple of weeks. What do I notice? And then when I start taking it again, do I notice a big difference? So that's how I'm trying to kind of reframe this, because I'm a little bit sad sad that I have to potentially find out that I'm gonna have more symptoms or just feel worse for the next few weeks because of that. So last night was the first night that I didn't take it. I take it at night before bed, and I did feel like my sleep was not as deep or as intense. Like usually I feel like I'm in a really deep sleep. I might wake up once or twice, but I fall right back asleep. And this time I just felt like I woke up a few times and it just didn't feel like I was in as deep of a sleep. My Oura Ring data for my sleep last night was still pretty good. So again, that was the first night without it. So we're gonna have to see how this goes for the next few weeks not taking it. I'll be really curious to see if anything shows up in my Oura Ring data over the next few weeks without taking it. And who knows, maybe I'll kind of adjust, like it might be not great for the first couple of nights or something like that. And then I might adjust to it and be pretty fine by the time that I'm ready to start taking it again. So we'll see. But since I am up a bit early this morning and have kind of gotten my day started earlier than normal, I'm gonna go get my workout in. The sun is already coming up, which is nice, but then I'm also sad that we're gonna be pushing the clocks forward and it's gonna be not getting light again in the morning. I really like having the light in the morning. Much prefer that to it staying lighter later in the day, but clearly that is not my call. So I'll just do my best to adjust starting now, and hopefully it won't be quite as hard this weekend when we do make that time change. This morning I have a training session with a client who I actually haven't seen in several years. When I first started personal training, he would come to me every once in a while just to basically get like a workout program written up for him that he would then go do on his own for a few months, and then he'd come back, we'd do another session, update his workout, he'd go do it for a few months, etc. But between COVID and then he had shoulder surgery, I haven't seen him in quite a long time, but he is ready to get a new workout program that he can, again, just go do on his own for a bit, and then we'll check in every once in a while or whenever he needs an updated program. So I'm just finishing writing up kind of at least what I'm thinking his workout program will be, and then we'll meet in the gym, we'll go through it, make sure everything works for him, make any modifications as needed, and then I will sort of finalize everything and send it to him so he can go do it on his own. So what I'll do for a client like this that just wants something they can do on their own is I'll just create a Google spreadsheet with their workout written up on it, including warm-up, all the sets and reps, video links with exercise demonstrations, and then once they're ready for a new workout, maybe they've done this one for a couple of months, then I can just go in there and update anything, change the exercises or sets and reps, or make any modifications or progressions as needed. Good morning, it is Sunday morning and we turned the clocks forward last night, so we're an hour ahead now, which is why it's still very dark out even though it's 7 o'clock. This will definitely take a little bit of getting used to. Like, I really like when the sun comes up early and it's getting light out early. Now that we've shifted forward, just as we're kind of getting used to having that sunlight early, it's going to be a little rough for a couple of days, like getting used to having it be dark until I don't know, 8 o'clock or something like that. But like I was saying before, I was kind of starting to try to adjust my body clock forward a little bit the last few days so that this transition would be a little bit easier. So like if I would just wake up earlier naturally, I would try to get up, and then that way I would be going to bed a little bit earlier, so that last night when I turned the clock forward before I went to bed, already was wanting to get in bed pretty early, so it wasn't quite as big of a change, or like it didn't feel like I was going to bed super late all of a sudden. You can see from my Oura Ring data that my sleep was actually pretty good. I think I ended up going to bed around 9:30 last night. That was after moving my clock forward, and I was still able to fall asleep and get a decent night's sleep, and then wake again, like I said, kind of around my usual time, somewhere around 5:30 is usually when I naturally wake up, 5:30 to 6. So that at least is a good sign that I'm already a little bit adjusted. This is also a really good time to use some of the sleep strategies that I talked about in a previous video. So using bright light or natural light, using movement, food timing, those things are really like the easiest ways to start to shift your physiological clock. So as you saw this morning, I used my little light box thing to get that bright light in my eyes first thing in the morning. I really use that every morning, but it's especially helpful like this either with time changes or traveling. I did actually wake up around my normal time this morning, like about 5:30 this morning, even though the clock was turned forward. So I'm just really trying not to think about the fact that it's to my body, it's actually an hour earlier right now. I used that bright light first thing this morning, and then I had my morning hydration drink, tried to do that around the same time that I normally would, eating breakfast around the same time I normally would, and also going to go get a workout in this morning, again, at about the same time that I usually would. By the clock, obviously, not by what the outside light says or what my body is kind of thinking it still is. But anyway, yeah, just trying to kind of use some of those easy strategies to make this transition a little bit easier. Definitely when the sun comes up this morning, I'll be trying to get some sunlight in my eyes as soon as possible. That will also help to really shift my internal body clock to know what time it is. I really do think it was helpful to try to start a few days early of just like waking up a little bit earlier so I could go to bed a little bit earlier. Now I already feel like it's not that hard to be on a normal time schedule today. I'm not going to be like an hour behind, or I'm not going to feel like everything's happening an hour earlier than it should today. That said, I do kind of expect that it'll still take a few days for my body to feel completely normal just with the light change, and I wouldn't be surprised if I feel just like maybe a little bit off today or tomorrow, maybe for a couple of days. But going to use the tools that I know work, so going to go get my workout in this morning and wait for the sun to come up. Well, it's a little later in the day and I'm actually feeling pretty okay in terms of the time change. I'm definitely feeling kind of tired because basically I woke up at like what my body thinks is 4:30 a.m. But in terms of my actual daily routine, I'm pretty on track, normal timing. So I think I'll be able to like go to bed at a normal time tonight. Got my workout in this morning, went for a walk with a friend around the lake, and it's so nice out today. It's gonna be like almost 60 degrees by this afternoon, which is sort of crazy. I actually have like the windows open today, which is awesome. And getting outside, getting in that sunlight night, also going to be helpful for circadian rhythm and adjusting to the time change. I was walking with a friend, a really good friend of mine that I haven't seen in quite a while in person. So this is the first time that I was telling her about my surgery coming up. I just felt like I wanted to tell her in person and not like send her a text or something. But I will just say that everybody that I've told so far, and I've been telling most people like as I talk to them in person, friends, family, clients, whatever, but everybody that I have told so far has just been really supportive. Like I've never felt like I had to explain myself. I mean, I've explained kind of what my thought process was or why I'm doing this, but it was never like they were questioning why I was doing this or thinking that it was weird or unreasonable in any way. So it's just been really nice to see how everybody's been very on board and kind of supportive of me deciding to do this. Anyway, because it's so nice out, it feels kind of like spring. Like I said, I've got the windows open, getting some fresh air in here, and I kind of have that urge to like do spring cleaning. And the kind of little spring cleaning task I want to tackle today is my pantry drawer. Yeah, I use a giant drawer that I have as kind of my pantry because I have cabinets, but it's so hard to see things. Like if you pile everything in there, I can't really see what I have or reach it very easily necessarily. So I'll show you what this drawer looks like right now. Okay, so this is like my pantry drawer, and I like that I can just really see everything really easily or find what I need. It's not like disorganized, but I really just need to take everything out and like clean it out. See if there's anything in there that I'm really not using or that's expired or that I can like donate to the food shelf or whatever. And I just want to give it like a good deep clean. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, this feels so much better. A little more organized, got rid of a few things, moved a few things around, it's nice and clean. And now I just really need to cook some of those potatoes because they're starting to sprout.